Good afternoon, everyone. I am your host, Nikki, and with me here today, I have our compliance expert, Ray.
Hi, everyone.
So today we will be talking about compliance, how you can be compliant and be confident in running your business, especially maximizing profits on Amazon. So let's take a look about the topics that will be discussed today. All right, so Ray, today we will be covering compliance introduction. Of course, I know some of us already know what that means, but specifically we will be looking into VAT compliance and the very important VAT reporting and payment timelines. And of course, we will be then delving into EPR, which is a new topic, what you saying? Yes, and of course, in the end, we will talk about how TBA can help you, and there will be a Q&A session where we will answer all of your burning questions. Let's delve into it, shall we? Okay.
Sounds like a good plan.
Yes. So, what is compliance?
Right. Okay. Compliance is a very broad question. Basically, it means following the rules. You know, different authorities will have different rules on different things. And if you follow the rules and follow the authorities' guidance, you will not have problems with authorities. So basically, that's the idea of compliance.
Yes. And as you said, it's quite a broad term. And today we will talk specifically about what this will mean for our sellers or potential sellers out there. So, Ray, what are the main categories of compliance?
Right. Okay. In TBA, we are offering 3 types of compliance. Mainly, they are VAT compliance, EPR compliance, and product compliance. I guess today we're going to talk about VAT compliance and EPR compliance mainly. Maybe when we have time, we can talk about product compliance next time.
All right. So let's delve right into VAT compliance.
Sure.
Right. Ray, what is VAT compliance and why do we need to pay VAT?
Well, VAT refers to value-added tax. So why do we have to pay value-added tax? Let's take a computer, for example. Say if you buy a computer from the US, right? £800, let's say. So your £800 will cover the raw materials, for example, the plastic, the metal parts, and all the small bits inside the computer. And also the £800 will cover the factory costs. The factories will use water, electricity, and everything. And also your £800 will cover the workers who assemble the computer. And also the material for packaging, the cardboard box and plastic and everything. But when you think about it, you purchase this computer from the US and it comes to your hand in the UK. There are actually some other people work on this computer, but they do not benefit from this £800. For example, the border security officers, they will check the computer, they will check the packaging and everything, and to make sure there is no illegal things inside the computer. And also the customs officer, they will check the documents, see if all the documents are correct. So those people, they don't get paid from your £800. So that's why you have to pay 20% extra to these people.
Okay, so that is the definition of value-added tax.
Yes.
Now, what does it mean to be VAT compliant?
Well, to get a VAT number, of course, and a lot of people, a lot of sellers, they probably think, okay, I'll get a VAT number and then I'm done. But in fact, getting a VAT number is just a first step. And you have to do the filing. And also, if you have a VAT liability, you have to pay.
Yes. Now, I don't know if all of the viewers out there are already selling on Amazon or is considering to sell on Amazon, but we do get asked this question quite a lot, right? So if I don't or haven't sold anything, do I still need to file for VAT?
Oh, it's a very good question. A lot of the sellers, they probably think, I haven't started selling, haven't started trading yet. Do I still have to file VAT? Well, the answer is yes. if you have a VAT number, if you have a valid VAT number, even if you haven't sold anything, you are still liable to declare. Then you just need to declare zero.
Okay, so let's take a new seller, for example. Now, please take us through the steps of VAT registration and perhaps tell us how long would it take us to register for a VAT number.
Okay, I think before we talk about VAT registration, we probably want to decide if whether or not you do need a VAT number.
Yes.
Okay, let's think about a new seller. Let's say if you're a new seller and you don't know what to do, and the first suggestion I'll give you is probably look into the market. You probably want to decide which market you want to look into, and then you need to do a little bit of research about the regulations and requirements. And then the next step, you can look into whether or not you want to use a warehouse. And then if you use a warehouse, you probably think of getting a VAT number. Then we talk about VAT registration. How long? It really depends on which country we're talking about. Some countries, it's really quick, but some countries, they are taking a long time. I'll give you an example. Italy, for example, if you're lucky, you can get a VAT number within 3 days. Some other countries, the tax authorities, they want to check a lot extra supporting documents. UK and Germany, for example, it may take up to 3-4 months to get a VAT number.
Right, so it's all about planning ahead.
Yes.
To being compliant. So Ray, you've talked about deciding first where you want to sell and then deciding whether or not you want a warehouse in that location. Now, say I am a first-time seller and I don't have that many products, so I've decided to store my products at home. In this sense, would my home be defined as a warehouse?
Well, the simple answer is yes. Your home is the warehouse. Even if you store inventory, stored items in the underbed storage boxes, and that's a warehouse.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So that is for my home. Say I want to expand my business and go into the German market, and I have a friend in Berlin. I just put my products. And I use their home as a warehouse. In the sense, is their home defined as a warehouse, and would they need to register for a VAT number?
The answer is yes. Their home is the warehouse, that's for sure. But if they are acting as your agent, let's say if the warehouse is for your online business, then in fact it is you who needs to register a VAT number in Germany.
Okay. Now, I know that we have also viewers from the US. So say I'm a US seller and I'm interested to sell in Europe. Amazon, how do I look for a warehouse in Europe?
Well, of course, you can just Google it, for example, see if you can find a warehouse in Europe. But if you are an Amazon seller, Amazon, they offer FBA services. Have you heard of FBA?
Yes. So what does it mean? What does it stand for?
Yes. Okay. FBA, it means fulfilled by Amazon. So Amazon will offer you warehouse services, and then all you need to do is to send inventory into the Amazon warehouse, and Amazon will do the delivery. So you don't need to worry about the delivery. Amazon will do the whole delivery, and you just don't need to worry about anything.
Yeah, that sounds pretty simple. Is there anything to look out for in the process or anything that we should know as sellers of how it works?
Yes, for FBA services, you can, as a seller, of course, sign up just to use only one country. For example, you can say, oh, I just want to store my inventory in Germany. Yes, you can. Of course, you can. But in Amazon, there's something called Pan-EU FBA program. So if you sign up a Pan-EU FBA program, Amazon will move your products across their European network, then your products will reach the customers much quicker all over Europe.
Yes, it sounds like a very good practice, of course, if you want to get your goods delivered to the end customers very quickly. Now, we are still talking about steps in the VAT registration process, right? So if I decide to sell in multiple countries, do I have to register for VAT for all of the EU FBA countries using this as an example?
Oh yeah, that's another good question. With Pan-EU FBA, Amazon is offering warehouse services in many countries. Now we know they offer warehouse services in Germany, in France, in Italy, in Spain, Poland, Czech Republic, and also they have FBA services in the UK as well. Recently, Amazon offer FBA services in the Netherlands and Sweden as well. Like I said just now, if you use a Pan-EU FBA program, Amazon will move your products across Europe. So theoretically speaking, you do need a VAT number in all Pan-EU FBA countries.
Okay, that's clear. Now, we've talked about choosing a country, deciding a warehouse location, and also registering VAT numbers for those locations. Now, I received my VAT number.
Okay.
What should I do next?
Okay. Filing, of course, that's the next step. You need to do the VAT filing.
And this is where it can get very complicated.
Yeah, it is quite complicated if you are a new seller, because different countries will have different filing frequencies, and also different countries will have different filing deadlines.
Yes, so what should the sellers or first-time sellers look out for? Even if you're experienced, perhaps you can give some tips on what we should pay attention to.
Oh yes, of course. The first you need to pay attention to is the filing deadlines, as well as the filing frequencies. There are some countries with the filing frequencies monthly. For example, Poland and Czech Republic and France, you need to file on a monthly basis. Some other countries, for example, Italy and Spain, you need to file on a quarterly basis. And for the UK, for example, the filing frequency is quarterly, but it's not a calendar quarter. It's actually every 3 months. I'll give an example. If you start your business in February, for example, then your 3 filing months, the first quarter of your 3 filing months will be February, March, and April.
Right.
Then the next one will be May, June, and July. So it is quite complicated.
Yes, so especially if you're selling in a lot of countries, then that's a lot of deadlines to keep in mind.
Yes. Apart from the filing frequencies, of course, you want to have a look at the deadlines as well, and you don't want to miss the deadlines.
Okay, so Ray, in your experience, which countries would be the most difficult to file in?
Well, I wouldn't say difficult, but today I would like to talk about UK and Germany a bit more, because these 2 countries, if you want to go into the European markets, you don't want to miss these 2 countries, that's for sure. UK, we just talked about the filing frequencies. It's not a calendar quarter, even though it's every 3 months, but it depends on the first start sales months, okay? And the VAT rate is 20%. The deadline is the 7th of the next month. So it's quite complicated. Let me give you an example, okay? If you filing months are, let's say July, August, September, okay? Then the filing will be done in October.
Okay.
However, the filing deadline is actually the 7th of November. So it's the 7th of the second month after the filing period.
Okay, so that is quite difficult, especially if you don't have experience
Yes.
to wrap your head around.
Yes, and at the same time, Germany,
Mhm.
the deadline is the 10th of each month. So imagine on Amazon, only the VAT transaction report is only available from the third each month, roughly the third or the second each month.
Okay.
And from the third to the 10th, maximum you have about 7 days a week. So it's quite tight.
Yes, and some of them might not even be working days, so
Yes.
that even brings the time shorter.
Yes.
And now, what if I've missed the filing deadline, unfortunately?
Yeah, if you've missed the filing deadline, of course, you will get a penalty. Usually, the tax authorities will issue a assessment. This assessment it's just an estimated figure, really.
Okay.
It's not a real figure because this figure is usually based on your previous filing
Mhm.
or based on your sales.
Mm.
And usually the assessment, the tax authority asks you to pay a large amount of money. So this assessment can be much, much bigger than the real VAT liability.
Okay, so say we receive the penalty, right? And of course, the amount is much larger than what we would otherwise pay for. But also in this case, we miss the payment deadline. What happens?
Yes, and before we go into the payment deadline, maybe one more thing to mention, then you still have to file. Okay,
Right.
even with this assessment, if you file the missing period,
Mhm.
and then this assessment can be waived.
Oh,
Okay, but then of course, even if you file the missing period, you still have to pay. I mean, they pay for the actual VAT liability.
okay.
Of course, if you don't pay the VAT liability, you will get penalties again. In the UK, recently, HMRC introduced a new penalty point scheme. Okay, it's if you miss one payment, you get one penalty point.
Okay.
If you get 4 penalty points, you will get a fine of £200. And this penalty, do you remember just now I said if you receive assessment, then you can, as long as you file as soon as possible, then this assessment can be waived.
Yes.
But if HMRC issue a penalty already, this penalty cannot be waived.
So it sticks with you,
Yes.
it sticks in the record.
Yes, and also if you still don't pay, the penalty will grow up. Okay, and the interest is calculated on a daily basis. So you can imagine if you miss a payment and if you receive a penalty, the penalty can be much bigger than your actual VAT liability.
Yes, and that could be a substantial amount.
Yes.
Right. So Ray, I heard that you've handled a lot of complicated cases when it comes to German VAT
Yes.
filing. So can you perhaps give us an example of things we should look out for?
Yes. German tax authority is very strict on VAT.
Mhm.
And if you miss payments and if you miss filings, of course, you will receive a penalty as well.
Yes.
But the German tax authority, they have their own system linked to Amazon Seller Central. They will check their system, the information, the business information saved in their system and compare to the business information saved in the Amazon system.
Okay.
If they find any mismatch, they will ask Amazon to block your account. For example, if they find business name mismatch, or if they find business address mismatch, or even business type mismatch, they will ask Amazon to block your account. Then your listing on Amazon will be restricted.
And is it difficult to get your account back?
Oh, yes, of course. You will have to change all sorts of things. You have to contact the tax authority and change the business information. And yeah, it can take a while.
Right. So hopefully you everyone who's viewing found that very useful. I believe that's a wrap up for VAT compliance.
Oh.
Or in conclusion, just a quick run through for what we've discussed on
Sure.
VAT so far. So as a seller, you would either have to decide or you've already decided where to sell on Amazon, and then subsequently you would need to decide where you want your houses. One option is to use FBA, Amazon's FBA, and there is a service provided called Penny with FBA.
Can be accurate.
Yes. And then subsequently, you would then need to register for the VAT numbers in the countries that you sell in, right?
Okay.
And then we have the filing
Yes.
process, which
Yes.
hopefully would keep our sellers from receiving any penalties if you adhere to the
Yes.
penalties.
On time filing, on time payment, that's very important.
Okay, Ray. So is there anything you would like to add here before we go to the next topic?
Well, like I said, on time filing, on time payment, very important. And if you receive a notice from the tax authority, don't panic. You can contact us and then we can help you sort things out.
Yes. Okay. So let's hop on to the next topic about EPR.
Okay.
Now, Ray, this might be new to some sellers as it is recently announced that there are some changes, right?
Okay.
So how does EPR compliance differ from VAT compliance?
Well, the compliance sense, they're quite similar, really. You have to get a EPR number and then you do the filing. But I think, first of all, let's look into what EPR is.
Okay.
Okay. EPR means extended producer responsibility.
Mhm.
Traditionally, as a seller, let's put it this way. If you are a seller, for example, traditionally, your liability, your responsibility stops when you sold the item.
Mhm.
Okay, you only need to declare VAT. You collect your VAT from your customers, and you declare your VAT, and then everything's fine. But because we pay more attention to the recycling parts, and then we talk about the climate change and global warming and everything. So recycling is part of the producers and the sellers' responsibility as well.
Mhm. Okay, we've talked about the different countries, right? You need to register the VAT for it.
Yes.
Of course, there are some differences, but would you also need to register for EPR in all of the countries that we sell?
Yes, in Europe, there are many countries making EPR compulsory as well.
Okay.
Okay, for example, in France, in Austria, in Spain, in the UK, and in Italy, EPR is compulsory already.
All right. And do I have to register a EPR number for every product that I sell in these countries?
Well, at the moment, there are three categories you have to get the EPR number for. They are packaging, battery, and WEE.
Mhm.
And in many countries, those two categories are compulsory.
Okay.
So packaging, for example, if you sell an item, of course, there's a cardboard box and there's a plastic wrapper, and then you need to get an EPR number for packaging.
Mhm. And there's a lot of categories listed, especially in some countries more than others. So how can I decide which category my products actually belong to? Perhaps a proper packaging, because that's quite straightforward.
Yeah, it is quite complicated. Let me give you an example. Because we know, apart from packaging, battery and WEE, they are compulsory as well. But how do I decide if I need battery or if I need WEE, or maybe I need both? The example I can give to you is a mobile phone.
Okay.
For example, if you sell a mobile phone, if the mobile phone has a battery inside, so you need a WEE number as well as a battery EPR number. However, if you say, I just sell the mobile phone on its own, there is no battery inside,
Yes.
then more than likely you just need a WEE number. However, there are so many subcategories within WEE. So it can get quite complicated, I must say. So if you decide to get a WEE number and you do not know which subcategory you need, get in touch. We can help you.
Okay. So what categories we've talked about? The compulsory ones and the countries that you have to mandatorily apply EPR for. Now, what do I do after EPR registration?
Well, after you get a VA EPR number, then of course you need to do filing.
Okay.
Okay. In some in some categories, the filing is monthly. In some categories, the filing frequency is annually. For example, packaging, that's annually. You only need to give us the data once a year. But for WEE, the filing frequency is monthly. You have to give us the sales data on a monthly basis.
Yes. And let me take you back a little bit on the categories and the compulsory sections. Since we are talking about mainly selling on Amazon, are they all compulsory on Amazon?
That's a very good question. So we mentioned in many countries, France and Austria and Spain and Italy and UK and of course Germany as well. The three categories they are compulsory, right? But talking about Amazon, so if you want to sell on Amazon, you have to get those EPR numbers. Germany, for example, you have to get the WEE number if you want to sell any digital things or any electronic items on Amazon.
Yes. Is there anything we need to look out for if we decide to sell in Germany?
Well, if you want to sell in Germany, of course, like we mentioned, we need to get a VAT number as well as the EPR number. And talking about this EPR number, and as you probably know already, because I've seen some social media. Are you doing some social media about German WEE number, right? Yeah,
that's right. Because it is quite a new announcement that they've announced recently. That Germany WEE is compulsory, starting from actually last month, right? So 1st of July
yes.
in 2023. Now, is there anything we should look out for or adhere to when we are looking to register a EPR in Germany?
Well, one thing to bear in mind, if you want to apply for a WEE number, the registration process can get a bit lengthy. So usually it takes about 2 to 3 months to get a WEE EPR number. So get in touch as soon as possible, then we can help you. Otherwise, your listing can be restricted by Amazon if you don't have an EPR number.
And for those who are interested, do feel free to follow us on our social media platforms so you can learn more about Germany WEE. Okay, so you've said that it might take some time, right? To get your EPR number depending on the specific countries. Now, if you do have some questions or if you are deciding to sell on any of the countries that we've recently talked about, then we have a very exciting promotion to share with you. And now do take note that the promotion or bundle discount is only available until the end of August. So if you are looking to sell in new countries or deciding to expand, do get in touch about our VAT and EPR bundle.
Okay.
Right. So again, for those sellers who are based outside of the EU or actually in the EU looking to expand, right? How or what other support can we give?
Yes, we talked about VAT services and EPR services just now, but mainly based on the European countries and the UK, of course. In fact, we do offer services in other countries. For example, we offer a company tax service and a sales tax service in the US, and also we offer VAT services in Mexico, in Japan, in UAE as well. And we are expanding to Australia. So we, apart from the VAT services, we do provide EORI number registration service. And also, if you are getting trouble with the tax authorities, you receive a compliance check, and we can help you with the compliance check. And also, we can be EU representative person, and just get in touch. We can help you.
Yeah, and it's quite exciting, especially for those as well who are looking to sell in other countries, because it's all about having the right information.
Yes.
In the right time. Okay, Ray. So I know you've built good relationships with a lot of our sellers in the past. Now, why do you think they will continue to choose TBA?
Well, mainly it's this, I would say it's the experience. So we have 14 years of experience in this industry, in the VAT and the tax industry. And we have over 60,000 clients. And also we have a lot of local offices in different countries. We have offices in Germany, in Spain, in Italy, and even in Japan. And also we can provide a multi-language support, and we have a commitment to reply to clients' queries within 24 hours. I think all those experience will help us to assist the sellers a bit better.
Yes, thanks so much, Ray. Okay, so we will now move into the Q&A session. So all of you who have questions, please feel free to put them in the comment section below, and we will try and answer as many as we can.
Yeah, I think, it looks like we've got some questions already.
That's right. So there's a question about EPR. There is a few. So one from Kathy. What happens if I applied to the wrong EPR category?
Well, that really depends. Okay.
Right.
Let's we probably want to understand how wrong the EPR category you applied for. If it's just a subcategory, and we can try to reach out to the authority and change the category for you. But if the category is completely different, then we will probably have to get a new EPR number.
Yes, that's right. So perhaps we can scroll down to see if there are any.
I think there's a question about providing any discount if I need both an EPR and VAT services. Yes, of course. So we just now we talk about a bundle, right? We can provide a bundle service if you apply for EPR number plus VAT number through us. We can give you a good price.
Yes, and do keep in mind as well that the discount will end in the end of August. So if you are looking to sell in these countries, definitely get in touch with us and speak to our compliance experts to help you sort out this process.
Yeah, I think I've got some good questions here. Are there countries where you can sell with Amazon FBA without the need of VAT number? I think that's a very good question, but I don't think we have enough time today to talk about this question, because there is something called IOSS. Well, I would suggest you to get in touch with us, Omar, and then we can help you a bit further on this question. The second question you have is for someone who is working with you, is Amazon paying on behalf of the seller? No, the answer is no. The Amazon will not pay VAT number, will not pay VAT liability on behalf of the seller. But again, there's something called IOSS. So for some transactions, Amazon will actually collect the VAT and then remit to the tax authority directly. But there are some transactions, it's still your responsibility to collect as a seller. This is under the IOSS scheme. It's quite complicated because if we go further, we're gonna talk about B2C transactions and B2B transactions. I don't think we have enough time here today.
Yes. So we also from Omar, there's a question about whether every country or every Amazon seller is selling in France, Germany, etc., need an EPR number. And we've talked about the categories.
It's a very good question again. France and Germany, they are slightly different, right? So for Germany, the main category you need to look into is packaging, of course, and WEE and battery. Okay, for France, if you do not have a EPR number but selling on Amazon France, Amazon will actually collect the EPR contributions based on your sales. Some sellers may think, oh, that's good, so I don't need to worry about anything. In fact, it's not really a good thing because you have no say. So Amazon will just collect the EPR contributions and then remit to the authority on your behalf. Maybe they will say, okay, you need to pay $1 million. Then you have no say, you have to pay $1 million. But if you have a French EPR number, and then you can do the calculation yourself and then pay.
Okay, thank you, Ray. So we cover one more question.
The question is, as I know, B2C transactions are marketplace collected, B2B transactions are seller's responsibility. I mean, VAT on B2B transactions plays through, they need to be collected, payable by seller, and VAT needs to be, that's correct. Under IOSS, Amazon is responsible for collecting VATs on B2C transactions. That's correct. However, there's one more thing you need to pay attention to, which is Amazon will only collect B2C transactions if the sales value is under 150 euro. If you sell valuable items, a camera, for example, or jewelry, for example, and the value is over 150 euro, then it's still your responsibility to collect VAT as a seller.
Right. So thank you very much, Ray. I think we will start to wrap everything up. If you do have any other pending questions, I would encourage you to reach out to us directly. Also, feel free to follow us on our social media platforms, where we will share timely insights and things you do need to look out for to be compliant. Thank you all for joining us in our live webinar today. Have a great afternoon or morning, depending on where you are, and we will see you again. Thank you.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.